Hello, hello everyone. Uh, Can everyone hear me? Welcome. Hello everyone. Um, Welcome back. And if you're new, my name is Sarah. Um, my name is Sarah. I have an online website called sarahincreations.com where I mostly do embroidery items, but I do have like embroidery, some DTF, and some crochet on my website. I'm kind of like crafter of all sorts. But mostly I do embroidery. And once again, that's my website. It's linked down below, sarahincreations.com. I also am a fabric designer. Well, print designer, whatever. I also have a website. Hold on, it's kind of loud. Um, I also have an Spoonflower shop that's also linked down below where you can find my designs and have them printed onto different types of fabric. I also have a small Etsy shop that has a few digitized items on it for embroidery, but there's not a whole lot there. Now that's a little bit about me. Hello, Tammy. Hi. Welcome. How are you today? So today we're actually going to be making some more bags. Surprise, surprise. Um, so a lot of people know me for my embroidered bags, and that's what I'll be working on today. Right now I'm just cutting some pieces that I need to go on them. But I picked up if you were here my last live, I mentioned about a fabric I had seen at my local um I'd seen at my local fabric store, and I fell in love with it, but I was like, I'm not gonna buy it because it was kind of expensive. But I was like, no, I won't buy it. And it's just replayed in my head over and over and over again. So I went back and I picked it up, and that's what I'm gonna be making bags out of today. Let me see if I can show you the fabric. So this is gonna be my Spellbound print. Um, I'm trying to think how I can hold it up. It's kind of not the best position. So this is going to be my Spellbound print. I don't know if you can see it all. It's kind of hard to see. Here, maybe if I tilt the camera down. So this is the Spellbound print. And this is what I'm going to make bags out of today. And hopefully these will go up on my website this evening if I can actually make the items and take photos of it and edit them and all of that. But I fell in love with that fabric and I was like, I gotta get it. I don't know if they'll sell or not, but at least I got them. So right now I'm just cutting some interfacing that goes on the back of my fabric to kind of stabilize it some. Thank you, Jay Lily. Welcome. Sorry, I didn't say welcome. Um, try to be as precise as I can be, but it's not going to be perfect. I'm just pre-cutting a bunch of this because tend to like having a bunch of it pre-cut so that I can just put them together instead of having to stop and cut and stop and cut. I need that. Did you see my other one that's up there too? Tammy, let me see if I can find it. This was my other Halloween one that I have up now. This is my Halloween treats. Hold on, let me mute my phone so it's not making sounds the whole time. Which is gonna keep making sounds. Hold on. I do have to check my phone here and there, throughout the live because my family, went to go visit my in-laws and I couldn't go because, I have to have some blood work done on Tuesday, so, and they weren't planning on being back by Tuesday, and I have to have the blood work done on that specific day, for certain reasons, so I couldn't go with them. And so they're all on their way to my in-laws, which is about 6 hours away. So I keep checking to make sure they're okay because it makes me really anxious when I can't be in the car with them. Check 1, 2, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's enough. I'll put this away and then I just take these and then I cut them down some. So I have to fold these in half and then trim these down as well. And that's all I do, is I just go through and keep trimming them down. Fold them in half, trim them down. And I have already pre-cut my fabric pieces so far. And then I will put this on the back of them. Yeah. I'm probably a bit too nitpicky when it comes to how I trim them, but I can't help it. That's just how my brain works. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Oh no! I've been doing it the wrong one. That's okay. I think it'll be fine. It should be fine. Yeah, I trimmed them at the wrong place, I think. That's okay. So I picked up this fabric about at the beginning of this past week, and I couldn't wait to do a live making the fabric, and then a whole host of crap happened this week. So so I wasn't super I wasn't super excited about doing this, but I also wanted to see it in bag form because I was excited about the fabric. With which one? The treat one or the uh, spellbound one? I'm I also think I might have to cut some more vinyl. I think I'm low on that too. All of the spellbound is calling your name. Yeah, I don't usually go for that, but I loved how it had so many like little elements and it was so cool. Um, this one I might actually leave because I need to do these. 7 inches. Well, 7 inches. Let's do that. We'll do this to about 7 inches. Okay. So I have my little stack here. And I have a few more on a stack over here that I've been saving. Now I'm gonna go to my heat press over here, if you guys can see. My basic bags are usually 40, and then my see-through bags are 45. So there's my heat press. And I've got my fabric ready. prep these. I just need to trim these down. Hot, hot. So my heat press is at about 305. So when the fabric comes off, it's toasty. My trash. So these will go on my see-through bags. Trim this down just a smidge. It would help if I had the blade out. Okay. These go on the see-through. Okay. Now I can go ahead and just press my inside fabrics. That's not it. Where did they go? Oh, there they are. That was a whole fabric. Here we go. So then I just take these and I press them to make them nice and flat. And I usually spray them with some water so it steams them when I press them. Yay, my buzzer's finally working. I swear, every time I turn on my machine, the buzzer isn't working. So then I'm like waiting and waiting. Now, these ones do not have to have a interfacing on them because they're the inside of my bag. I already interfaced the ones that will be used for my see-through bag. Okay, so all the inside fabrics have been pressed. Then I will do the outside fabrics and add interface to them. So here's all the outside ones. Thank you. Hi, Lee! And Lenore, if you're here, welcome. And then I just pick it up to make sure it looks nice and neat and flat. Then I can take my interfacing and add it. Now, one thing you need to know when you're doing this, some fabrics have a direction. So this is the direction, right? So if you were to put it like this on the bag, it would be upside down, right? So what I need to make sure to do is I like to butt my interfacing up at the very top of the right side up, if that makes sense. That might not have made much sense, but I like to put the interfacing right at the very top because then I know that I have that wiggle room for when I'm placing it on my bag. Hopefully that makes sense. So I find the top and I place it as close to that edge as I can. And then, because I don't like to waste too much. I mean, there's going to be some wastage when you're making stuff with fabric. But I try to waste as little as possible, if that makes sense. Okay. So it's all set. And then I go ahead and press it. So I press it like 2 times. Once to get the wrinkles out and the second time to put the interfacing on. And all the interfacing does is it makes it a bit more stable, so it's not as floppy. Yeah. Sure. Okay. See you later, Tammy. Thank you for coming. Okay. So it makes it not so floppy. So it just kind of stabilizes it for you. I'll just put them over to the side for my finished ones. So I spray with water, and then I cover it, and then I press it to try and get all those wrinkles out. Okay, and then I take my interfacing and I put it up at the top, line it up as best I can. It doesn't have to be super perfect, but you guys know me. I try to make it as nice as I can. And then I put the sheet back on it. And the reason why I put the sheet on it is just to make sure that there's nothing on the top platen of my heat press to like transfer. And also sometimes the fabric can transfer to the heat press. But also, since this interfacing has some like glue dots on it, I don't want the glue coming through the fabric and sticking to my heat press. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, next one. Okay, I'll add more. Oops. Wrong thing. this on top and press again. There we go. Add the next set. I like it like this because it's easier for me to flip it better. Okay. Line it up at the top. Flip over. Just have a few more to do. Probably 4 more. Very repetitive. All my steps are very repetitive. Oops. That's poking out at the bottom. I don't like the interfacing to be sticking out because then it sticks to everything. So make sure I'm not missing anything. Bye, Tammy. One last set. Okay. So I have all my panels done. So I've got my stack of panels all finished. Now, what I'm going to do this to the side. I need to cut more vinyl. I think I only have one piece of vinyl, so that means I gotta get some stuff off of my table. Hold on. Kind of a mess. Because my vinyl is very, very long. And I need enough room to be able to run it. Okay, let me go grab my vinyl. Here's my vinyl. Sure, things don't fall off my table. Let me flip them out so I can see it. So I use my ruler. And line it all. And then I just go along it. When I slide it down, okay, I move down again. It's not super perfect, but I try my best. Okay. There are some pieces connected. Okay. But I will correct those in a minute after I've cut this. Then I cut it into more manageable pieces. Okay. Then I just stack these up until I go to fix them. And I keep the tissue paper between them just so they don't stick to each other. Finish this one. And then I'm gonna mark, because this is a leftover piece that I can't use for this, but I will mark it what it is. Okay. And then I put it in my drawer for when I need it. If I have a smaller project to use it on. These are good. Now I'm going to cut out another row just so I can have like 8 of them ready. I like to have a lot of things pre-done so that I don't have to try and think about it. Okay. Let me slide this down. Go. Now I can put this away. And now I can trim these down to the pieces I need. Okay. And mark this piece as what it is. Okay. So to prep these, I need to make sure that they are very straight along one edge. So what I usually do, hold on, let me check. What I usually do is I will take one at a time and I line it up on my mat. One of the short edges I line up on the mat. And then I trim off about 1/4 of an inch, trying to make it as straight as possible. Then what I do, I will give myself a mark that lets me know which side needs to be down in the bottom left corner. So that one's ready. Just put that to the side. And I just repeat that for all of them. I line it up on my marks. I trim off 1/4 of an inch. And then I make my mark. Okay. Do the next one. That's what I do for it the whole time. Okay, sounds good. Have someone keeping me company, that's all that matters. Okay. Line this up. Okay. Let's remove this. Okay. Next one. See, this is the kind of the boring, monotonous part of my business, where the things that you have to do in order to make the bags, but you don't necessarily want to do because it's so boring. I much prefer the making of the items than having to cut them out and having to make all the other pieces that go with it. Okay. Make my mark. Think I only have like 2 more to do. Yep, 2 more. Hang with me. The oh boy, the more fun part will be coming when I actually start making it. Right. Alright, that's done. Now I can put them to the side. This. And I do have one left over down at the bottom here. So I put that at the top. Get rid of my old tissue. Okay, now, yes, hopefully at least one. I would like to show a basic bag and a see-through bag so that you can see the process of both. Which is what I did last week. I think last week I went live for 6 hours, so it was a long one. So I'm gonna go ahead and move my table, and then I will move you guys in a second. It's easier for me to have my table over here so I can get everything done. Right? Now, I can move you. Let me turn the camera off for a sec so I don't make anyone sick while I move you. Okay. So we are set up over by my embroidery machine. And now I'm going to try and set up my phone so that we have the other angle for you guys to watch my machine stitch. I gotta turn off my lock screen. Screen lock, I mean. Gotta turn it off. None. Okay. Also, I'm gonna try and turn it so that it doesn't turn off right away. Keep screen on while viewing. We'll see if that works, because last time I did this, every time I went to switch it out, it would go, I don't know, there's nothing there. So it stopped working. So now I'm going to attach it. Also, the last time I did this, I'll twist it. The last time I did this, my machine, I had it too close to my machine and the machine caught it and took all the viewers for a ride. So, hopefully that won't happen today. Okay. See that. Okay. Now let's test it out and make sure it works. Let me know. It should work, but we'll see. Haha! It works. Okay. You guys can see what's going on. So I'm gonna go ahead and hoop up some stabilizer. And we'll start with the basic. Okay, I'll let you choose since you're the one watching me. So I'll let you choose which one would you like to see made first? A basic bag, which is all fabric, or a see-through bag. You go ahead and make the choice, or you can have Lenore make the choice. Whichever one she wants to see made. Drink of water. Brought water down here, and then I'm not drinking it. Which one would you like to see made? See-through bag or basic bag? You told told you already. You said, are we gonna get to see a bag today? But you didn't say which one you want me to make. Do you want me to make a see-through bag first or a basic bag first? See-through. Okay, you got it. So, for a see-through bag, let's get you back to a webcam. For a see-through bag, you need tearaway stabilizer. This is tearaway stabilizer. It's more like, it's kind of like paper in a way. So, you use that. Where did I put my screwdriver? Right? Right. Come on. I make sure it's super tight because I don't want it slipping in there. Okay, so let me transfer you back to my machine. With this one. Through. Now I have to change the colors on this, so that's what I'm doing right now. Just changing the colors. Okay, so it's all ready to go. So I can put this in here. And while this is stitching, I will hoop up another one. So I'll start that. I'm making sure that it's not going to run into here. Hopefully it won't run into it. Whoop, ran into it. Okay, so I got to back it up a little. Okay, now I'm hooping up another tearaway stabilizer. I try to keep 2 bags on hand as often as possible, so I keep 2 bags of the see-through and 2 bags of the basic, or at least I try to. So as that stitched, what it stitched is called a placement stitch. And that just lets me know where I'm supposed to attach everything, where I'm supposed to put my zipper, where I'm supposed to put everything. So since that did that one, now I'm going to return it back to the original and I will have it stitch this one. And while it's going, I will go ahead and, whoop, didn't mean to switch that to me. I will go ahead and add my zipper to this one. And since this is a see-through bag, I'm going to add an extra piece of tape so that the zipper stays nice and straight for me to add my vinyl against it. Trying to find the best angle so you guys can see as much as possible. Okay. Only problem is sometimes I gotta pull it out of there. Okay, so now that that's done, I can add my previous hoop back in and I can stitch on my zipper. And while that's going, I'll attach my zipper to the last hoop, or this hoop. Let me switch this off so you don't have to have that in the middle. Of course, they're gonna leave the droid cam thing in the middle. Sorry, guys. Let me see if I can take this off. It moved the wording. No, it's still there. Sorry, guys. Well, the wording's just gonna have to stay there. Unless I pay for this app. And I don't plan on paying for the app. Can you guys hear me okay, or am I too loud? Okay. Now I'm going to take that down. Now I'm going to redo that same one. Sorry, my arm gets going. This is the only app I've found that lets me to actually use my phone as an actual camera. Okay. So I'll go ahead and show you guys this. I can try and turn it down a little. Hello? That a little better? Okay. So let me show you here. So what I mean is I try to keep, when you're making the see-through bag, you want to try and keep the zipper as straight as possible. Why will you not let me peel it off? Okay, there we go. You want to keep the zipper as straight as you can, because here's my vinyl and the very straight edge that I cut. I want to butt that up against my zipper as straight as I can, which that looks good. And then I tape it down. Then I will put this back on my machine and stitch that while I do the same thing for the other one that just finished. So I take it out, put this one in, and let it do its stitching. And I'm also going to turn on my heat press because I need that. Uh-oh. The black thread is not in. So I need to rethread it. thread, and then I'm going to go back and restart it. And I will fix that in a minute because I don't like how that. Why is that going to the wrong one? It's going to the wrong one. Hold on, guys. There we go. Like it's the wrong step. Okay. Now I'm going to go back one. So it can repeat that process again. Then we go trim some back. Now I'm too soft. Okay. Is that better? Okay, that's stitched down, and now I just have to trim around it. So now I'm just trimming around my vinyl, cleaning that up so that there isn't a ton of excess. Okay. So, of course, trimming the vinyl is not pretty. It can be pretty raggedy, but it should be okay. I'm gonna trim these little corners. Okay. So, what I need to do Okay, now what I need to do, so this vinyl is down. Now I need to do the fabric. So the bottom fabric, I line it up on my mat. So I have about 1/4 of an inch of overlap. So then I take my piece of fabric that needs to go on the front and I line it up like that. Okay. And then I tape it. Then when I flip it over, I can see that fabric. And do the same thing on the other side. Trim up anything there. I'm just trying to neaten up some of these loose threads. Okay. And do this, the same thing with this side. And take that. Okay, now I can put this on the machine and I'll repeat this same process with the other one. This takes a little bit more time because I gotta get the tape up. Come on, tape. There we go. I guess I'll let you see this process again. So I go around and trim off my vinyl. Cut the corners so they're not sharp when I turn it. Line this up on my cutting mat. Add my fabric. Flip. And add my next fabric. Bring up any loose threads. Right? And I'll probably end up doing this again when it comes time to finishing it, but right. Now add this on. Get more tape. Okay. I'll go back to the machine. Go back. So I can repeat the same stitch for this bag. And while this is going, I can heat press this fabric, which I plugged in my heat press, but I never turned it on. Oy, oy. You're welcome, Lee. I'm glad I can sponsor. So I'm waiting for my mini heat press to heat up so that I can press down this fabric. And I have to be very careful because you can torch the vinyl, and I don't want to torch the vinyl. So I'm going to bring this over and heat press this fabric down. My heat press is ready, and I'm just going to be very careful. And you see what I'm doing. Okay? So I pressed down my fabric as best I can. It's not going to be super perfect. Okay? Now I have to tape down my fabric on the back. Then I will return it back to my machine, and it will stitch the next part of this process. Okay, so it's going to make a little U-shaped stitch. So that's all it's going to do. Now I have to repeat the same process for the other hoop. If there were two of me, we'd fly through this. I'm just pressing down the second one. Taping that one down. Putting it over and taping back down. Okay. Now I will repeat that same stitch. love when it does this to me. So fun. Okay. Let's go back. Sorry guys, it came undone again, so I gotta rethread it. Doesn't work if there isn't thread going through it. Alright, let's try this again. Okay, so that's ready to go. Now I have to add the outside. Yes, I was far from the mic. I was over heat pressing. Okay, so now this is the stage where I need to open up the bag. So I need to open the zipper and press that down and then add my label. Okay, so I just take the tape from here. Then I add it to my bag like that. Tape it on. Okay. Then I add the bag portion. So I think I'm gonna add this like that. Okay. So now this is ready to be attached on, and it just needs to stitch. Oh, sorry. Now it just needs to stitch around, and it'll stitch around it 4 times. So I'll switch you back. And I'll just repeat the process for this one. And I like to hold it down. Ah, this thing is really getting on my nerves. It won't stay attached. Not sure why. Okay, so that's gonna go around 4 times, and I'll get the next one prepared. again with the next one. So let me send it back one step, and we'll repeat that stitching again, but with the other hoop. Okay. So when I hold it down again, until it goes all the way around. That will go around 4 times as well. And while that's doing that, I can clean up the back and add my other fabric on the back. And just a reminder, if you ever purchase one of my bags, the pattern will vary on its location where it will be. I just cut it straight from the thing so that I don't waste any fabric. So it will always vary in its location. Okay, so now that's done. I can open that. Okay. I'm like looking at it like, oh no, did I forget to open the zipper? Nope, I opened the zipper. Oh, thank goodness. Phew. That would have been bad. Okay, now I can stitch the last step. Which it'll go down, and then it'll stop, and then it'll come back. Stop. Bring it back up. Down. And then I stop it before it ends because I need it to do the same. I need it to do the same step again. So I put that to the side, and I'm going to prep this other one. Make sure it's all prepped. I'm just making sure there's no threads that go to the inside of the bag because I don't really want those showing when the bag's done. Now I can put the back on. So I'm gonna go like this. We're going to scoot that over so I don't miss it. Then I take this tape that's sitting there and I attach it back down. And I do one more piece of tape over the top. Okay, now I will stitch this on. Make sure they're going the right direction. And I'm going to repeat that step. Now, everything is complete, and I can undo my bag from the hoop. Now, I'm not going to finish this bag just yet. I want to try and get 2 more of my bags done. My basic bags, so that I can finish them all at one time, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go ahead and get my basic bags ready. And then we'll finish them all up together. So I will unscrew my hoop. It's just easier for me to do them kind of like in batches where I get all of them done at once. So that's a finished one. I just have to trim it down and such. Now, since I'm doing basic bags, I need my cutaway stabilizer. Now, see-through bags are pretty easy to make, but basic bags are even faster. So, you just tighten up my hoop. Hopefully you aren't all bored. Hi, Nancy. Welcome. Okay, so this is ready to go for my next bag. This one is the one that just finished, so everything looks good. I just trim it up. Make sure it's neat. So now I'm going to get my other bag loaded up. That's not it. That's it. And I gotta change the colors on it as well. Okay, now I will go ahead and put you guys back on the machine and let you see the placement stitch for that one. And get it rocking and rolling. The other day on someone's live, was it? Am I that bad? Apparently I'm bad at remembering whose live it was. I think it was it Richie's? I can't remember. But it was nice to put a face with, oh no! Alright guys. There we go, sorry. It times out on me. Sorry. It was nice to put a face with your name, Nancy. I was like, oh, that's Nancy. Now I'm hooping my other hoop now since I've got that out of the way. And then I can do the stitching on this one as well. I also keep checking on Shay. Yes, on Shay's live. I can't remember lives anymore. Because I jump in and then I have to jump out or I have to get something else done. I forget who I was talking about. But yes, it was so nice to put a face with your name. So I'm not like, oh, hi. Okay, let's go back. And repeat that stitching. I also keep checking my phone because my children and my husband went to go visit my in-laws and I couldn't go with them because I have to have some blood work done on a certain day this week and they weren't planning on being back. So I couldn't go with them. So I'm like anxious. I'm like, are they okay? Are they okay? I keep checking. And now I'm just adding my zipper to this bag, the one that I took off of the machine. Okay, that's ready to go. Okay. Now I can do the zipper. Place this in here and just send that on its way. Whoops. And then I do the same thing on this other one. That a little bit higher. Oops. Okay, so that one's done and I can go back that step. And secure the zipper. Now over here on the other one, I can cut out the zipper section. Uh-oh, it's not connected. I can hear the sound of not connected. The thread is not. So I have to thread it down, put it around this hook down here, and then rethread. It might be because my needle's kind of old, but I don't know for sure. I like to set it back one. Nope, not what I want. That's what I want. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna get you all really nauseous. Okay, now I'm just trimming out the section for my zipper. And trimming up any stray threads. Me up stray threads that I don't want poking out. Okay. Now I have to add my fabric. Yeah, wee. Okay, now since this is on the back, I add my fabric. I just line it up with that line. And then, yes, I threw away my tape because it loses a lot of its sticky when you've put it on and removed it a few times. So I have new tape. Okay, now flip it and add the front fabric. Okay, this will be the front fabric. So I want to put it on upside down because when I fold it, it'll fold it down right side up. Okay, now I flip that over and take it back to my machine. And then get this other one going. So I have to hold these fabrics to the back. And I kind of tug on them lightly so that they're nice and straight and flat underneath. And then I stitch it. Of course, it did it again. Grrr. This is getting old. Because I know what I'll be doing one of these days. Changing my um needles. And it didn't secure it very well at the beginning, so I'm going to redo the beginning part. I don't like how it looks. I want it to lock it better. There we go. And then I can trim it off. There we go. So now I can remove this, put it to the side, and I'm going to prep this other one to go on the machine. Yeah, it keeps... I'm not sure if it's necessarily the needle that's causing the issue, but it's worth doing it. Odds are it probably is the needle because I can't remember the last time I changed the needle. So it probably means time for new ones. But I'm going to try and get through these, and then I can change the needles. The problem is I've been using the black and the white the most, and all the rest of the colors are fine. So I don't really want to change those out, but then I'll forget about it. That's what gets annoying. Then I'll forget which ones I changed and which ones I didn't. And then I'm going to check my phone in a second just to make sure nobody has written me, because they should be getting there soon. So just want to make sure everyone's okay. Just seeing which one I want on the front. I'll do this one. Flip that over. Do this. Well, I mean, they say like every certain amount of stitches, but I don't keep count of my I don't keep track of my stitch count. And then it's like, oh, certain amount of months and certain this, and I'm like, really? I'm not gonna keep track of all that. So let me check my phone real fast. Make sure no one's written me. Okay. I told my husband so that he doesn't take his attention away from the road to give the phone to our daughter so she can let me know how it's going, and she's just sending all kinds of randomness. So, like a bunch of pictures out the window. I think she's really bored. Now, Lee, I'm going to be far away from the microphone, so you may not be able to hear me. I'm going to go press the fabric and I'll be right back, okay? this one is pressed so I can stitch around it. Then I'll have to press the other one. Now I'm heat pressing the second one. Now that one's done, and I can stitch around this one as well. Sorry. Now you have the place to slide through. Yeah, it's um are you so you're talking about like the machine. So there is a you can buy like a flat top that can slide into here, and then it's like a nice flat top. The only thing is those things are like $600, and I don't have 600. I think that might be helpful with like holding everything there, but I don't have $600. That's very expensive for me. But they do have those like tabletop things. Um, okay, now for this, I'm going to open up the zipper. And get out two of them at least. And I like to mark where I need to put my tag. So I take this tape that's right there, and I just add my. Now I'm going to take the fabric and lay it over the top, and then I can run it in my machine again. Make sure it's covered. Okay, now Yeah, it is extra. And I also bought my machine used from a local shop that's no longer in business, but I had bought it used, so I traded in the one that I purchased from them, and they took that and put it towards the payment of this machine because I had just a basic machine, a basic embroidery machine that looks like a sewing machine, and I really wanted something with more needles. And I saw this one and they let me trade that one in and use the credit from that one. And then I had to put a little more money on top of it in order to get this machine. So this is a Brother PR 620 and they are discontinued, but you can purchase the tables for them, but they're just so expensive. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and stitch this. And this will go around 3 times or 4 times, not 3. And I'll prep the next one. I would love to get a machine that has 12, 15, 16 needles, but they're very expensive. If you buy a new Brother machine, that has I think they only have 10 needles, but they're like $20,000. So I can't afford that. Is yours a like a flatbed um is yours like a flatbed machine? Or is it like one of these big multi needles but only a single needle? Because I know Brother also has those. Oh, yeah. A PE 770. Those were or 770 or the PEs. I think PE 770 were the pretty popular ones. Or the PE 800. I originally was gonna start on one of those, But when I wanted it, it was during the pandemic, and they were like sold out everywhere, and people were trying to charge like thousands of dollars for it. So I ended up going with um it was like a combination brother machine. It was like a sewing machine and an embroidery machine in one. Okay, so I have the back already, and I'm just going to attach my backing. Yeah, I think I had a brother NQ 3600 or something like that. But even those home machines could be really expensive too. And I'm like, ugh. Just trying to clean up my table a little because it's got threads everywhere. Okay. Now I'm going to prep the back of this one. Double check something. Okay. I swear, every time I'm always afraid that I didn't undo it. The zipper. Um, is it not making sounds for the machine? Some people like to hear the sound of the machine, and some people don't like to hear the sound of the machine. And if it's not playing, it's probably because my computer is like like cutting it out. If it is, then my computer's not cutting it out. Okay, so I'm gonna add my backing on. Okay, backing. And I just tape that on. What's that? Machine. See, some people don't like hearing the sound of the machine, and other people actually like hearing it. Like, they're just like, oh, that sounds cool. So, okay. Now, so you can't hear it. So you're good? Okay, now I can put it back onto the machine. Good. I don't usually wear headphones. I think I've gotten kind of used to it. I don't know. I mean, I probably should protect my ears a little more, but I don't. Now I stop it, and I'm going to go back that one step so I can finish up the other bag. And then we'll be done, and all I have to do is finish them up. So then you won't have to see the machine the whole time. So I'm going to just repeat the same thing. And I used to have some headphones, but a lot of people would say, I can't hear you. So I stopped using them. Like half the time they couldn't hear me. I don't know if it wasn't connecting or what was happening, but a lot of people were like, I don't like them. I can't hear you. Okay. So we're back over here. And I just trim up the back. And then I'm going to remove my tape. Remove the tape from here. Sometimes I save the zipper tape because I never have to move the zipper, so it stays stickier longer than all my other pieces. Okay. And now I can remove this. Now I can remove it from the hoop. It's out. Then I just put these back together and just finger tighten them and put them back into my drawer for when I need to make more. I'm only making 2 of each bag today. So we have both of the bags done, or all 4 of the bags done. Just gotta trim them up and turn them right side out and finish sealing them, which there's still a lot of steps left. So I always make it sound like, oh, we're almost done. There's still quite a few steps left. Okay. There's that. Put it away. Okay, so for these ones, I can just cut away the stabilizer. For these, I need to tear first. So I tear away the stabilizer. These are my see-through bags. And this is my new fabric I picked up this week. I had seen it a few weeks ago, or several weeks ago, at a local quilt shop of mine. And I was like, man, that's really cool fabric. And I didn't want to spend the money on it. But it's kind of replayed in my mind over and over and over again. So this week I went back, they still had it, and I made it mine. and hopefully it will sell. Okay. That's done. Now I can go ahead and trim around all four. So I just take my ruler. I'm gonna get everything else out of the way because I don't want to cut it accidentally. And then I just trim it. And I used to do all of this by hand, like cutting all the way around it, but it was very time consuming. So now I just use my rotary cutter. I need to get more rotary cutters. So one can be for this process and another one can be for cutting the fabric because this kind of wears down your blade quickly. And I don't like changing my blades very often. Bring my Maybe if I bring my trash over, I can just swipe it down in. Okay. Then it's not really a new fabric place. It's been there. It's a quilting fabric store and they have a ton of fabric. The only problem is it's like double the price of other shops that I've been to and of Joann's, so it's very steep. I think for this fabric, I paid more on this fabric than I've ever spent on fabric before in my life. So, and I've bought a lot of fabric. So I'm just tucking this down so I can trim this. Then I can just wipe it in. One thing that I do like about quilting stores, though, I mean, this one isn't a great example because it's still kind of a large image on the fabric, but quilting stores have a lot of fabric where the image is, you can see a lot of it instead of just a little bit. So it's better suited for quilts and stuff. So it's better suited for my bags, which comes in handy. Okay. Next one. That to the side for right now. Have you looked at Michael's? My Michael's, I did see some at my Michael's, but my Michael's really doesn't carry a lot. They probably had a row of a few. I'm hoping that'll change, but I don't know. My Michael's is just so kind of crappy. Unfortunately, it's kind of a crappier store. Like things are not very neat, and there's stuff all over the place, and they can't keep things stocked. And it's a little bit further away from me, so yeah. But I have looked there. They have some stuff. They just didn't have a whole ton when I went there last. I think they were still trying to get things out. That's a good cut. Now, I have to trim this. Thing. Turning hole. Okay. And I'll trim up those corners when I get over there to sit down. I keep hoping that somehow Joann's will make a comeback somehow, like rename it or or something like online or so. I don't know. But I also don't like purchasing anything online because then you can't actually feel the quality of the fabric. You know what I mean? Like you're like, oh yeah, that looks great, and then you get it and you're like, wow, that's not what I was looking for at all. So okay, fine. Turning point. Just lay this on top. Okay. Now I will take these over to where I sit. Did I do one of these wrong? No. I'm like super confused. I'm like, why does that look that way? Because I had it the wrong way. Okay, so now I'm going to take them over to where I sit, and then I can work on them from there. So that I don't have to be standing the whole time. I'm going to turn off my camera for a second while I move everything. So that no one gets sick. Straighten them real fast so that I don't have things everywhere. Water. Okay. I can unhook my phone so that my family can get a hold of me if they need to. They made it! Yay! Okay, they made it. Now I don't have to worry. Okay, so. Okay, so. This one I already trimmed the corners. Now I have to trim the corners of these ones. One on the zipper part. I like to trim the zipper a little bit more because sometimes it's sharp and it a little harder to turn. That one's done. This one. Last one. Whoop. Didn't get the back fabric, apparently. Okay. That's done. Put that away. And this back on in case I need it. Okay, so this one's the basic bag, and that turns pretty easily. And this one's a basic bag. I'm gonna do the ones that are the harder ones to turn because I don't like dealing with these ones. The see-through ones, I know a lot of people like them. They're more difficult to deal with. They make my hands hurt more because of all the layers and trying to turn these right side out is a pain in the butt. Not my favorite. Then I take my bone folder and I finish turning them right side out. I try to round all the corners as best I can so it looks nice and neat. Okay. So that one's turned. And I'll get back to that in a second. Yeah, one of the hardest parts. And I've noticed my hands hurt a lot more from doing this, so. You'll see the difference. So now I have to turn these again, but this is the first turn. And it'll be a little bit better because then I'll get this off of there. But you'll see with this one's a lot easier. You just kind of crumple it up. Now, luckily with that other one, it has a wider opening at the bottom, so I can turn it a little bit easier. This one's got a smaller opening, but that's because everything else is more flexible. So the whole bag is cotton fabric, so it's more flexible and it can turn easier. Okay, that's turned. Yeah. Okay. There's another corner and one more corner. Okay. So that one's all turned inside out. So those ones are a bit easier. But do you see how, like, here's how wide this one is versus how wide this one is? So it's a good couple inches more in width to turn this, but that's probably because of the vinyl and all of that. So now I just flip this, and then you can just kind of pull this through. Okay. Okay. Gotta find the corner. There's the corner. Okay. Another corner. Okay. And these corners. So those ones are done. Now I line them up. These ones I will press on my heat press, and the vinyl ones I have to do by hand with my little mini press, because I don't want to melt the vinyl. I can't just smash it in my large heat press. So I smooth it out, try to make it as flat as I can. Then I open up these and flip. Same thing goes with this one. This I need to remove the attach a solid base on the hand on it. Turn it right side out. What? Some kind of mallet. Bye, Nancy. Thanks for stopping by. Oopsies. So that part's done. Now I just gotta get this part out. Oopsies. I like the tearaway to all come out. Not where I have to come back and trim it up. Okay, that works. If I see any threads, I'll just trim them up. Okay. Then I seal this up as well. So I get that like that. And I line up this. Okay. And then this I will heat press myself with my little heat press. Okay. Do this one too. Don't dig too deep or you can ruin the vinyl, which I don't want to do. Go. Okay. Well, this. Oops. Okay. And then you sometimes find little threads. Just trim them up. Okay. Some kind of mallet. I'm guessing you mean like, so you push it on and then you pull it down and then it like puts, like it. Yeah. I get the idea. I just don't really know what you're talking about. Yeah. I mean, I see the videos of like, you know, factories that have like all these fancy machinery that can do all kinds of crazy cool jobs. And I'm like, I need something that can turn my bags inside out for me. That would be great. I mean, you would think there'd be some fancy machine, but the fancy machine probably costs a lot. Okay, I thought I saw a piece, but I don't see it now. Okay, now to tuck this in and tuck this in. Okay, now I will do that. I'm going to go ahead and press these bags and be right back. And then I'll press these with my heat press over here. Oh, my heat press decided to turn off. Come on, heat press. Wakey, wakey. Now, so see how nice and flat it gets? So this is nice and flat. Now, I can't get these ones that flat, but I try to get them as good as I can. So my little heat press is right over here. And I just use this guy. And I try to stay away from the vinyl. Because you don't want to scorch it. I have scorched it before. I just remembered I left the tape on the inside of my bag of that one. Dang it. Well, I'm gonna have to fix that. I usually like to take my tape off, but I always forget. It's like my brain doesn't want me to remember that part. Okay, so the bottom is pressed. Then I flip it over and press the sides. Top, just the bottom. Just try to get it as flat as I can. Move any tearaway that's still here a little bit. Redo that. Press along the whole thing. I used to press all my bags like this by hand, but sometimes you gotta get a little bit quicker at your production. Okay. So now it's time to glue it. So grab my glue. So I use Fabri-Tac for the gluing. I turn this. And I start right about there. Okay. And I just kind of just attach it. Try not to let it ooze out because that's a pain. Okay. Put it down here. Then I'm going to finish gluing the rest. Okay, and finish sealing it up with clips. Something fell. Okay, so there is that one done. And that I can start a timer on. And the rest should follow. So about 5 minutes. Okay, let's do this one. I need to get like little vices or something that I can clip it all at one time instead of one little clip at a time. That would come in handy. One teeny tiny clip. Clip. Oops. Okay, and then finish gluing. And keep on clipping. These ones take longer because there's the bigger opening. Take forever. Close up. There we go. Now we can close up these ones. Yeah, I don't have any wider clips. I would have to look up to see if there's, because these are like sewing clips, so they actually have quite a bit of pressure. So they're good for that. They're good for sealing it up. I just don't know if I could find a clip that could seal it as well as these do. I really like the pressure. I wonder if they make ones that are wider like these ones. Or I could get like like flat pieces of wood and then get clamps, like the squeeze clamps, and then just clamp it shut. That would be easier. You just put it between the two pieces of wood and clamp it shut. I'm sure there's other ways to do it. I just haven't bothered to look into it. Sure, we could figure out a whole bunch of different ways to do things differently. Okay. There you go. So, those ones are done. And then I'll just check and make sure all of it looks okay. So that when I go to turn it right side out, it is ready to go. Okay. And that looks good. All right. So there was 5 minutes for the first one. Let me clean the tip. I try to clean off the glue because then it gets really goopy. And next time I go to use it, sometimes it's sealed shut, so I try to keep it cleaned off so it doesn't seal itself shut. Get rid of these tapes so they're not in my way. Make sure this stays on. Okay. Now I can remove the ones from this bag. And I'll do one at a time so that those have time to set. Now I zip it and then I'm going to flip it right side out. Here's the second flip. That can be annoying too. Okay. Get stuck. Okay. Now I will push out the corner again with my rounded bone folder. Push out this corner and push out this corner. Okay. And out. Zip it back up. And there we go. Let me go ahead and press it. Watch it. Okay. That's ready. Now I'll go ahead and do this one. Okay. Slide my zipper out of the way. Am I still in frame? Good. I try not to keep the vinyl bent for too long because then it'll kind of get wrinkly and yeah. Try not to let it stay bent for too long. Sometimes that's easier said than done. Okay. Push out that corner, push out this corner. Then I can press this one too. That's all I'm doing over here is just repressing everything. Making sure it's nice and smooth. Hi. Now I'm going to flip these ones. Let's see. Sure. Oh, what am I doing? Gotta go back to my screen. There you go. Go ahead and flip these ones. Now these are the ones I forgot to take the tape out. But there are different ways to fix it, so I've learned from my mistakes. If I'd really learned from my mistakes, I wouldn't be making them anymore. But let's get this flipped out. Okay. Go. Now, I'm gonna go try and fix this. So I try to reheat it, and sometimes it comes off nicely. Okay. And Wish I would learn from my mistakes to begin with. Sometimes I remember to do it, sometimes I don't. It gets kind of frustrating. Tag. Almost there, guys. That should be good. Okay. It's a little bit of finagling. So, it's all better. I leave the tape on and I forget that the tape is on. Yeah, that's annoying. One of these days I'll get better at it. Okay. And I gotta fix this one too. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, it's just the tape got left on. And sometimes there can be a little residue. Okay. And one more. Turn these inside out. Okay. Let me go fix this one. Oh, that one was fine. That one did just fine. I think it was because I let it cool. That one was fine. It did nothing. So, alright. So, maybe if I just let that one cool, it would have been fine. Whatever. Okay, now I'm gonna go press these one more time. Nope, my tag's here. I have my tags. Let me go press these one more time, and they'll make them nice and flat. And then I can add my little zipper tab thing. Perfect. And just to make them extra neat, I like to flip them over and press them a little bit more with my little heat press. just so that the backs are pretty smooth. And then we can add on the little piece of ribbon that I add for a zipper pull. This little heat press getting really hot. Need 4 of them. 1, 3, 4. I have to cut more of those. And I like to kind of heat them up with my heat press so that they're a little more malleable. Okay. Now we can add the little zipper pulls on. This. So it's really small. I gotta put that on. And put that through the end and pull tight. Another one. Get this through the end. That through there. And pull it tight. And then I'll trim those up in a minute after I'm done doing these ones. Fold that. Okay. Almost. Okay. That down through the hole. And pull that one. And one last one. Come on. There we go. Okay. Put it down through the hole. Okay. And pull it tight. Now I'm going to trim these up and then heat seal them again. I like it to be a longer zipper pull, but not quite that long. So I just trim them and then I heat seal them again. Now I take my lighter and I I will heat seal. Since this is polyester, it just melts the end and it'll keep it from fraying. Ooh, my lighter's almost out. I gotta find where I put the rest of the lighters. I know my husband picked me up some more, but I don't know where I put them. Okay, hopefully this will be enough to finish it. No, don't give up on me. Nope, it's given up. Let's see. I can't remember where I put them. Aha, I found it. Oh, this is a different one. Oh, maybe this one still works. This was my newer one. I was trying to use the old one. All right, there we go. So, let's clean up the area. Clean up my mess. Very big mess. All right, so we have the finished products, guys. So this specific fabric is called Spellbound, and here is the see-through. So it's got a see-through front panel, and there's the back of it. Now remember, all of my bags, the position of the design will be different on every bag. Now some will be really close to another, but they're all going to be a little different. So that is that one. Here is this one, another see-through. Then here are the basic bags. Now the basic bags are roughly, 10.5 inches by 7.5. Let me double check on my website. No products. So the basic bags are roughly 10.5 inches wide by 7.25 inches tall. And the see-through bags are 10.5 inches wide by 6.5 inches tall. So if you're wondering the dimensions on those now. So here's the basic bag. Okay, and here's another basic bag. So these should be up on my website hopefully tonight if I can get myself upstairs and get photos taken and my listings made. But those will be available up on my website tonight. Hopefully. And basic bags run 40 and see-through bags are 45. And those will be up hopefully. And I think that'll do it. Does anyone have any questions for me? I didn't really want to announce this necessarily, but I'm going to address it real quick. and I'm gonna try my best to address it and not cry. So, I currently have a um, I currently have a discount code available on my website. It's it's Zoe, Zoey. It for my Yorkie Zoe. Um, on Thursday, she actually had taken um she took a turn for the worse this past week, and on Thursday she crossed over the Rainbow Bridge. We had to have her put down. So, I'm still gonna run that discount code through the end of October just because we still have a lot of bills to cover her. Um, but I'm still running that over until October 31st to try and cover some of her bills. Um, and thank you everyone for joining me tonight and for keeping me company and watching me make the new bag today. And I hope you enjoyed the bag. And I hope you'll take a look at my website. Even if you can't purchase anything, go ahead and check the website. I have made a post about Zoe, and I hope you all have a great night. I'm sorry it ended on such a bad note, but I did want to mention it so that people don't think, I don't know what people might think, but I just wanted to mention about her. And thank you everyone for joining me. I really do appreciate it. You have no idea how much it means to me that people will take time out of their day to hang out with me. Um, so, um, thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a great rest of your night. And I know it's the beginning of the week, so I hope you have a great rest of your evening and weekend, and I will see you all next time. Thank you for